Alrighty. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's the end of the week. We're looking forward to that. Let's see. Yeah, there we are. We got good sound. We got good chart. You can see there's the dollar index. The dollar index has been just slow and steadily being, in a drift down. Next Wednesday, chances are they're going to cut the interest rate a quarter point. If they really believe it's going to be a half a point, it's going to be, I think, a freaky thing if they do that. They already blew it once with walking around saying that the inflation was transitory. I don't think they want to do that again. I think they don't want to get trapped with that again. I would be very surprised if they did a half a point. There's no reason to rush. It's not going to help anything. It'll scare the markets. I don't know who comes up with these ideas sometimes. It's like, why do they need to go, when they should have been pushing it up, they waited a year and a half almost, a year and 3 months, 15 months waiting, and then they had to panic and go do it. When you can borrow, I guess you can say the Federal Reserve can borrow at almost nothing. They make money up and out of thin air. They can basically prop up the markets. Imagine if they were told that they can't lend billion-dollar profitable companies billions of dollars overnight for free for a decade. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Half of my reason to do a webinar every day is people go, why don't you just not, take a day off here or there? It's because I am so frustrated as a veteran of the markets for the last 40 some odd years, 5 decades. It's very hard for us pros to watch this level of stupidity. We used to call it stupid money on the trading floors. We used to say, why are they doing that? And then you'd hear that they would, go out of business or, something of that nature. It was very rare for anybody to succeed using poor strategies and plowing money into them. And the Federal Reserve doesn't have that problem. They can generate money out of thin air, and if they're wrong by $1 billion, they just go make another $1 billion out of thin air, print it. They don't even have to print it anymore. They call them line items on a spreadsheet. And so we just, in other words, it's paperless money, I guess you could say. It's a credit. And they just float it out of thin air, and there it is. It was very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. So I have my webinars here showing you not only am I, the right way of looking at a market most of the time, but at the same time showing you a formula, an algorithm. You can call it an AI if you want, whatever you want to call it, of how accurate it is. It's a combination of both. So in other words, it'd be one thing if I was just pontificating and saying, oh, I hate this and I hate that, and then not back it up by anything accurate at the same time. Instead, we show you our level of accuracy, and it just shows you how much we're accurate on our point of view. When you go back and look at our videos from the past, you realize that we're more on target. We were saying, for 15 months before the Federal Reserve finally woke up to the fact that we had inflation, we were saying, we got inflation. They got to stop this. They got to raise rates. They got to calm the economy down. They got to do something like that. They just can't keep on doing this. It's hurting, the average person. Prices are rising. They're acting like it means nothing. It's transitory. It'll go away. Even now, as well as they've calmed things down. I saw a statistic this morning, 50% 50% of the population has been living in a recession for the last 2+ years. 2 years. Here we are in 24, so 22 and 21. Mr. Biden takes over in 21. Mrs. Harris, Biden-Harris administration. Unfortunately for her, she has voted to pass these insane ideas. She could have gone in there and said, Mr. President, I don't support these ideas. These are unhealthy ideas. And then it would be a hell of a lot easier to vote for her now. Instead, she said, I love these ideas. She voted. She was the tiebreaker for the Inflation Act and a couple other things, that have buried the economy and have hurt us over the last 3.5 years. So she can't say, well, I was just the vice president. I didn't have a decision-making process. You did have a position-making process, part of the process. You were the president of the Senate, and you voted to allow this to happen. You personally, because they couldn't get a majority. And so, boom, she is responsible for this mess. Normally, you can't blame a vice president, but for her, it's very easy to blame because she actually voted on these things and made it law. And if she hadn't voted on them, it wouldn't be law today. And so that's why, I do the webinars. I do the webinars because I'm tired of seeing this dysfunctional government lead us down a path of disaster. So anyway, you look at the dollar index right there. There's a chart showing us, I think it was as high as 115 at one point. Let's see if we can get that up on the screen. Let's get that up on the screen. Let's take a look at the dollar index. And during the Trump years, I think it was 115, 116, something like that. And here it's trading at 101, basically. Is it 101? Yeah, I think it's like 101 or 100. There we go. And I'm going to give you a longer-term view. Let's see, markets, futures. There we are. And let's see if we can find the dollar index on here. There it is right there, DXF. Right there. There's 5 years. Before Jojo the monkey. I guess we have to move it over more. I'm confused. That's 23. It was up around the 1. Let's see, what do we got here? I knew it was at 116 or so under Mr. Trump. Oh, I see. That's 5 years. Okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. Right there, you can see it. Where is that? Now I'm confused. In the one... What is that? That doesn't make any sense. Because I remember it being way up there. I wish I had J4X. It must be like a consolidated thing. I wonder if we can DXY. Let's put DXY in there, see if that'll show what we're looking at. Because some of this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I remember during the Trump years, it was in the 16s. It went to all-time highs. Let's do that same thing there again. This makes no sense. I guess the best way, I wonder if we can put the euro up there. That'd be a perfect example. We show you the inverse relationship. $5 years. There it is. And all time. Yeah, see, that's That's there. Let's see. This there is 2000. What's that? 18. Okay. 2006. Basically right there. That's 14. I'm very confused. I remember seeing that future. I was trading that future at 116. I don't understand how it's distorted like that. Let me go back on mine. Let's see if we can get that. Let's go take a look at the euro. Let's move it over. This is very confusing. I remember specifically the dollar being way through the roof. Just ripping. Let's see how far back this will go. I missed J4X. There is 23. Well, we're gonna have to find. I'm gonna have to find a chart that will show us even more clarity than this, because it's this Yahoo Finance is not reflecting the correct prices there. That's for sure. All right, so I know it's not my imagination. I remember trading it in the 115s and 116s and 117s, an all-time high. So I'm not sure what is the malfunction there, but in the end result is that. What we're looking at here, I guess it's 2000. I guess 2016 is Trump, right? So there is. Let's go back to the dollar index again. Maybe I was reading it wrong. DX. There's 110. Let's move that over. Can we move that over? Let's try that one more time. I see it way up there. All right. Anyway, what is that? That's showing that at 2005, 2010. That's basically during the Bush years. And then there is the Trump. Okay, here we go. Now that makes sense on a shorter time basis. It's showing to you at 113, 114. Okay. All right. Anyhow, that's what we're seeing, is that we're seeing gas prices and we're seeing food prices, and we're seeing, in other words, it's not what we're seeing normally anymore, is the fact that what we see in everyday life. Someone called me right before the webinar and said, why do they keep on campaigning this way? Why can't Kamala say, what's going on? I said, because she'd be campaigning against herself, and that's really what it comes down to. The reality is physical in front of us at the moment. We know that mortgages are twice the price now, if not 3 times, and gas is twice the price, if not 3 times, and food is 3 times, if not more. And so, for the average person, over 50% of the population, they've been in a recession for over 2 years now. Anyhow, that's that. I'm done beating up on the management of our society. Let's just jump over to the euro. And there is the euro again. It's slid into the daily buy. Let's steal one of these greens. Right there. It jumped into the daily buy yesterday. And it's showing that strength today. And at the same time, you can see the weekly. Let's move that over a little bit like that. And as you can see, the weekly, just contract it 1. There we are. You can see the weekly buy. Fast is broken down. It's become oversold. And you can see the daily is turning up. And we'll see. And the weekly slow doesn't seem to care. It's not letting go. It's staying up there firm and in the buy. Over on the right there, there's the cable. Cable doing the same thing. Except for, look at that. The cable popped up and then backed off. It's still on a daily buy. Let's grab this green right there. You see that strength again. And we're going to go double check some of these dollar index things. Because I remember 116 and 117. I thought, wow, that's way too strong. Way, way, way too strong. Didn't like it up there. That's way overbought. and that's I'm talking about the dollar index again. I'm still on the rampage on that. Sometimes we find things a little odd around here when it comes to data information from Yahoo or Google. You Google things and it doesn't come up at all. They're really trying to hide the past. From there, we slip over to the Swiss. The Swiss are trying to get back into that rally. Look at that. After 4 solid days in a daily buy and moving up, it's trying to roll over finally again. I don't know if they have that much room to go. That's the problem. You know what I mean? It's how much. I mean, they're probably one of the strongest currencies out there at this point. And so I mean, you don't see that gain like you see in all the other currencies. We're looking at, there was like just from December of last year to now, over a 14% drop. In other words, a gain against the dollar. 14% gain against the dollar. 16% gain against the dollar. Actually, it's 16.5, 17 because it was 101, 1.01 on the Swiss against the dollar. And now it's trading at 8.84. So, I mean, that's close to 16%, if not just a little above it. So, as far as I can tell, is that the Swiss have done everything right. And that's why I make the joke all the time that the Congress and the Senate should make a rule. It says, hey, you know what? We should have at least 2 Swiss bankers. If they want to be this global, put some Swiss bankers in on the Federal Reserve. Get some foreign points of view, because right now, the action we're seeing in these systems, is pathetic, really pathetic. So, let's put it this way: those Swiss would not allow the Federal Reserve and Powell to say that this is transitory. They wouldn't have done that. They would have been saying, "Oh no, raise your rates, raise your rates, raise them." And you can see how they did it for their own country. They would have done it for us too. And since the Federal Reserve seems to be now the world reserve / bank of the world, I guess that's a perfect example of that's a perfect example of it all. Yeah. All right, and then from there, let's jump over to the yen. Ooh, I know what I want to do too. It's Friday, and I want to show you the old beta. And let's see, what is that right there? There we go. I want to show you the old beta, the one we had for about a year and a half back now, I guess it is, something like that. It's like 5-6 months ago. I want to show you the old beta. We got it running down to 1 day late. That's it. So we can actually, like today, it'll show us where where Thursday's weekly number is. So that's a good thing, Sooner or later, I'm going to figure out the code and get it to the point where it shows it to us live. That'll be nice. Right now, I'm more focused in on the new beta, and that new beta looked great. Robin, if you can hear me, I saw it yesterday. He hasn't put it back up yet, but you're going to see it has a button to make it light or dark, less dark, and you're going to be able to move the daily algorithm around. You're going to be able to move the weekly around. He showed it to me. He's got it. He's just getting it all put together right now. So I'm really happy. He's got most of it looking very, very good. So let's do this. Where are we at here? Let's get I want to show you. I want to have it prepared so that when we move past, like now we're going to go to the yen. So let's look at the yen, and then I can show you at the same time where the weekly is on the Nikkei. So I should have loaded this up earlier. Where is that? I have to start the whole. I got like 5 different commands I've got to do before I can get it up on the screen. But that's all right. We'll do that with no problem. So there's the yen. And you can see how the yen is. It's moving down. It's going. I love the idea that it's actually making a challenge to the 40 area. I mean, that's that's important to me as far as I'm concerned. Anything to get that currency now that they've unwound that monster of a position. That is the bigger thing, That is the bigger thing. There we go. So, what else can we say about it? You can see it's been in that weekly sell. Oop. It's been in a weekly sell now for a while. You see that right there. And, right like that. You can see all that weekly sell, so the pressure's on. It's been coming down from the 150, 58, 59 area, something like that. There we go. We're halfway there. Opening up the codes. I've got a I don't have a button that does it, but we're close. Let's see, what's next? So it was a code. Okay, so now we got to turn on Python. And, I see what's wrong there. There's an E there. No E at the end of Python. There we are. And then we go to the source. And right from there, I'm going to, I want to put I want to show you what the Nikkei has done with its weekly, which I think is kind of neat. / I should have done this. I was on the phone. / activate. Activate? It looks like it. There we are. Alright, now we just have to do this again. And then we're going to be able to see, we're loading it up now as we speak. There we go. Let's see, is there any questions? I don't see any. Yeah, it looked really great, Robin. I was tempted to call you and tell you about it, but I'd rather you see it. And he said he might even get it up there today, which would be really nice. All right, now we're going to see the old beta, and we'll be able to see let's see, control. There we go. And let's see, we'll have to log into it. Log in. There we are. Now this is the old beta. Okay. Let's put up the Nikkei. There it is. There's the Nikkei. Now let's show it to you over here. Let's see. Minimize that. Go like that. I think that's it right there, isn't it? I think it is. Should show up on the screen. There it is. Okay, we're good. You're going to see it in a few seconds. Here is the Nikkei, and we're able to look at all the products around now. He's actually threatened to make our new beta with the same capabilities as the old one. That really excites me. All right, now let's make it larger, and moving it to you, and there is the Nikkei. Right there. You see Nikkei's trying to go. Yesterday it was pushing into the weekly sell, which is interesting. You see here it hasn't challenged this area here, right there. The what do you call it? The unwind, where they unwound the $20 trillion swap trade. But you can see here the dailies have been in daily sell for the last three days or so, and you can see now the weekly's pushing into the sell, and you can see today it closed down, so chances are there's no change here. In other words, it's going to be, this was in a sell for 3 days with that little pop up, and with it down today, I would assume it stayed in the sell. And obviously the weekly is in the minus, both the fast and the slow. So, I would say that, we're seeing a lot more interesting things here. Something looks weird here, but all right, we'll just go with it. And so that's where we're at now. And as you can see on the new beta, let me see if we do this. Let's see, if I go like this, right there, on our new beta, notice the manifolds are acting normal now. You see they get tight and so forth. So it's working out much better now. Everything's better. And wait till we see the new one. Right next to where it says chart size, there's another blue button, and you can change the colors a little bit. Just a couple different choices, but that's all right. Something's better than nothing. And then you'll see this bar right here, where we can go like that. He's got that on the middle algorithm and the bottom algorithm. So. All right, from there, let's go back over to, I'm going to keep the other one up for the time being. This way we can run back and forth to it. Let's go to the let's go to the Turkish lira over here. There's the Turkish lira. What are they doing to it today? Lifting up a little bit, trying to get back into that buy. And you can see it was been in a sell with that, but you see the weekly's not really letting go too well. I mean, histogram is below the manifold. Today's Friday. The chances of it going into a weekly sell are almost slim to none at this point. And at the same time, right there, like that. There we are. So from there we go over to the South African rand. And I would imagine with the way gold has been moving, and let's put gold up on that screen too. Where's that mouse? I guess that's it right there. So let's go to the South African rand right there. You see it made that nice dip by the end of the day yesterday and it's pushing down a little bit more today. We're still in that weekly sell. The fast has jumped up, but let's see if it starts to become overbought in that and starts to move down. And then we can go like this. We'll go to gold here. Here is gold. Oh, there we go. Me not po Ruski. Hey, Alana. How you doing, Alana? How are you? And let's see. There is the gold. You can see gold's over 2,600 now. Third day in a daily buy. Oh my goodness. When you go look on the spreadsheet, you see we've been in a weekly buy now, just a little underneath the 2,400 area. So it's gone up $200 since in the weekly buy itself. Let's see, right here on the spreadsheet, you see that 10 weeks in a buy. This is the 11th week, and yesterday was 2 days in a buy. Now we're on a third day with no problem there. And then what else do we want to look at here? Just a lot of pressure. We've been talking about it. There's a lot of people saying that central banks are really, really, really buying the daylights out of gold. They're taking delivery. They're parking it in their vaults. They find it to be really, really necessary. To be long it. I've read some really interesting stories about the metals. I saw one story that said, how did they word it? They said that the dollar since 1968, or when we went off the gold standard again, we go on it and off it. We go off it during Roosevelt's years. And then the Democrats love that. And then when I don't know how much power Nixon had about doing that. In other words, I don't know if the Senate and the House had to vote on it, but he had no control over that whatsoever, as far as I can tell. in other words, you don't half his administration were Democrats, so it's like very odd. His cabinet was more Democrat than Republican, so we really don't know how much influence he had, or how much he just had to do and didn't have a choice. And so, they're saying that since we went off the last time we went off the gold standard, they're saying that it's down 90 some odd percent, the value of the dollar. Down 90 some odd percent. That's a lot. That's an awful lot, So, and that is the magic of it all, I guess you could say. So there's the gold, and then you can see the silver. I'm sure it's above the 30 finally. Hey! Closed above the 30 yesterday. It's been in a buy for 3 days. It's been in a weekly buy for 4 solid weeks. It's going to be a 5th week now. And or next week will be the 5th week. And you can see 4 solid days, 4 solid weeks, I'm sorry. And it went into the buy like literally at the start of almost 5 weeks ago. So it's been very much a push on the upside. And what else can I say? I guess that's about it, when it comes to the silver itself. Is there anything I can... Oh, you can't see that. Let me show it to you. Oh, yeah, you can see it right there. So, is there something to relate to globally? Not really, more than the South African Rand. South African Rand keeps on trying to go gain against the dollar, and obviously it's confirming it in the metals price itself. Copper, right there. Definitely, in a buy from here. So 5 days back in the daily buy, it is flirting hard to get into that weekly buy. It's only at 0.0050 right now, very tight. I mean, there's 0.0048. It's incredibly small numbers. And then obviously the platinum, the most dangerous of shorts, has gone from 900 to 1,000 almost. It's at 993, 999.1, 99.4. Let's see if they jump over the moon for us. Right here, go to 1,000. There was 6. There's 99.5. What else can we say about that? Is the high today? I think the high is over 1,000. Yeah, $1,000.70. And we're looking at 6 days in a daily buy. We're looking at going right back into that weekly buy, and 3 out of the last 4 weeks it's been in a weekly buy. So they're trying to can you imagine 26? Well, at least the ratio is diminishing a little bit there, but I find it to be an incredibly think about it over the same time period. It's gone up $100, and gold. Let's see, what did gold do over the last 8-9 days? Yeah, basically the same thing. They both went up $100 over the same time period at the beginning of September. Yep. Platinum was trading as low as 903, and now it's trading at basically 1,000. Look at it, 999.9, right there on the edge. Maybe it'll give it a little rip. There it goes. It jumps over it. There we go. And so they're really the metals. South African Rand's been trying to tell us that they're buying it, and sure enough, they are buying it. And so it's nice to see it all work together. We love seeing how our math keeps us honest and safe. 8.6 times out of 10 it'll keep you honest and safe. Now this morning, looking at the stock market, let's just show you where the U.S. stock market, the S&P 500 is. Right, let's go with this one right here. That'll be good. You see here, it's flirting, at, I guess they're record highs. Is that record highs? Let's go take a look. I know that's pretty high, right there. Is that it? I guess not. We have to go find what the record high is. Let's go and look at the actual. Go right there. Right there. right there. Now there's the record highs. They're up around the 63 area, 5,663. There's 5,665, and we're at 5,613. Let's see what the December contract says. Because remember, the premium is decaying, and so the cash would make more sense to look at than, or the, yeah. See, there's the all-time high right there of 5,726. 5,726 is the all-time high, and we're right now we're at 5,674. So it's not taking out. It still needs to do about 50 more points to get through all-time high. Let's see what the Dow Jones Industrial Average looks like. Right there. There's your all-time high there of, I believe that's it. Let me scrunch it up a little bit more. No, there it is right there. There's the all-time high of 42,048, and we're at 41,646. So we're about 4 or 5, kind of matches up with the S&Ps. We're about 475 points away from all-time, 500 versus, say, 50 points on the S&P, which, it kind of all fits together. We're seeing that action. Markets are trying to hold up. They're trying to roll and keep on doing things. Also, Janos, I'm trying to get the WhatsApp working on the new phone, and it's being a pain in the neck. It wants me to create a whole new thing, and I want to use the same phone number, and it says it already has been used. So I've got to find a way of communicating with them to tell them to turn the damn thing off so that I can I can use my phone number, because I only use that one phone number there. So that is the stock markets. They're all lifting up. They're very firm. They're anticipating, I'm assuming. Also, the switch has happened. They're using December contracts this morning. You can see that right here. Let's move that over. That's what that is right there. Let's go like that. That's the December contract, and that's the September contract, right there. Yeah. So let's see who's leading who. As far as I can tell, I believe the December contract now is leading 649 versus 373. Okay, it's we'll see the horse race. Watch these two boxes, but I believe the December contract is the leader now. 285. Let's see. We'll see how it goes. The switch. Usually switches occur. They always occur on the second Thursday of the expiring month. So next Friday morning, the S&P 500 September contract expires. And a lot of times, within a week or so of it, we can have some big moves. Now, obviously, next Wednesday, they're going to be cutting the interest rates between 1/4 and 1/2. I believe it's going to be 1/4. And if they do it 1/2, that might freak things out a little bit more than we want. But, I'd imagine, the Democrats have told Powell, keep this market firm, buy the weakness, lift this thing up. We can't fix, gas. We can't fix food. We can't fix interest rates. We can't fix, the everyday products, but we can keep the stock market up, keep on giving funds money to hold stuff overnight so they don't liquidate. All right. And then from there, I guess that brings us to the energy, which is nice because now we'll be able to put Brent up on the chart, which I love. I love the idea that we can put Brent back up on. You can see what Brent is doing on a weekly basis. Also, the Bitcoin. I love the cash Bitcoin. It's so much, better. It's 4 days and a daily buy. It is fighting to get into. Yesterday, it was still just a little bit in the negative. Who knows, by the end of the day, if they lift this thing up the way they're lifting, we might get it into the weekly buy. Now let's put Brent up there. We'll start off with West Texas Intermediate. Let me see if I can find Brent. Where did Brent go? Brent. There it is, right there. And let's put that up on the screen. Right there. There's the Brent. And you can see pushing into the daily buy yesterday, just like the S&P 500. And there's the weekly. Weekly doesn't seem to care. It is still very weak. When we go and look at West Texas, right there, same situation. You see the weekly pushed down. You see the daily going into a daily buy yesterday. And you can see it's firm again today. This is showing us the live trading. So that was, what's interesting is that this is right there. You can see this. Let me just do this. You see there, today it's that, but yesterday it was down. It was not pushed into the buy, which is Wednesday. So what's interesting out of it all, let's reset that thing again. How do we do this? Let's just go like this. There we are. So there's Monday, there's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So there were red dots and it was lifting up. You can see the algorithm didn't move, and you can see when we go over to our main platform, let's show you that right there, and go like this. Right there, there's the October contract. You can see it pushed into the buy yesterday, same way. Even with it lifting up and having those reds, we just couldn't get this thing to move. It just would not lift up. And so you can see it on the old beta, showing you how accurate it is. That's why we love that. And it looks like we're going to try to take the same. He's going to move the data feed of this, the old beta, onto our new beta, Robin. That's really the cool part right there. Let's go over to, let's go back to the main screen because I don't have heating oil on there, I don't think. Here's heating oil. It's lifting up. I mean, it's trying to get into the buy today. You can see that, but it doesn't really move much. The weekly staying into the sell. You can see that. In many ways, you see that the Boeing went into, is striking. The airplane manufacturer, they manufacture about 40 airplanes a month. That's an incredible number because of the size of those things. You think it would take them a whole year to build one of them. But anyway, they build 40 planes a month, and the union last time gave them a break, and because it was the Trump years. So they took a 4% increase over an 8-year period because there was no inflation. So that fit perfectly. Inflation was 1.41. Now they're going on strike because 97% of them, of the union, said we're going on strike. They want a 40%. 40%. And Boeing, I think, offered 25%. And they said, no, we want 40%. We gave you a great deal last time. Now it's a whole different story, and we need 40%. So, and that's where we're at with that. Now, natural gas. Check out natural gas on here. Right there. There's the October contract. It went into the buy yesterday and showing a little bit more firmness today. Closed in a weekly buy last week. So, went into the buy back here in the $2.14 area. And here we are now at $2.40, basically 2.391. And today's high is 2.407. So, it's a 26-cent move, which is a pretty good move, in any product, especially these commodities. All right. What else we got going on here? Let me just double check something. I just saw something flash, and I just want to double check it's all right. All right. There's that. Okay. Likes a photo. Okay, I see. Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. So, So from there, we shoot over to where do we go? We go over to, let's see, we did natural gas, heating oil. We did Brent, staying in that weekly sell. We're just like West Texas Intermediate, staying in that weekly sell. Let's jump over to the international indices, I guess. So we saw the Nikkei. The Nikkei was down just a little bit right there. Let's put it up on the screen. Now we can go take a look around the world. I like that. With our math, even if it's only a day late, it's better than nothing, So you can see here, the Nikkei is pushing itself into the sell yesterday. With it down today, I have to assume that it's still going to be in the sell. Over on the Kospi in South Korea, you see the daily yesterday closed in a sell, and it was off just a little bit today. And at the same time, the weekly, same situation, in a weekly sell yesterday. So here, we're seeing that pressure on some of these, which is interesting. The one part about the Kospi, which really surprised me, is you can see here, Kospi was starting to go after that unwind low. I was really surprised about that. Taiwan, here's Taiwan lifting back up, also dodging that, the November low from the unwind in Japan. And you can see here, it's pushing itself into the sell also after 3 full weeks in buys. Now, it's up today. So we'll see and it's pushed itself yesterday into a daily buy. We'll see if, I would imagine that it won't flip back, but we'll see. We'll know on Monday. We'll be able to see it on Monday, which is nice. From there, we'll take a look at Shanghai. There it is right there. There's the Shanghai. Shanghai, another new low. So it must be like at a 9-month low. It's threatening the 2,700 now. It's been in a couple of weeks in daily sells. To be exact, it's really been ugly. I mean, if you want to look at from, say, here, where it went into, well, see, it's been in a weekly sell for over 10 weeks now. So, when you go back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you're talking about, it was up in the 3,000 area. Now it's at the 2,700 area. That's over a 10% drop over that time period. From there, we shoot over to the Singapore Straits Times. STI. Where are you? There it is, STI, right there. And you can see that's in a weekly buy for 4 weeks. You can see that thing climbing from the 3,200 area to the almost 3,600 area. So it's been a 400-point move. The low of the unwind in Japan has been no effect now, I guess you could say. It had, but notice it knocked it down and it's turned back up, and there it is. It's way up, just pushing up again. From there, we go over to Jakarta, I think we're going to nowadays. And if somebody wants to see a different world index, just let us know. We'll go hunt it down. Where's Jakarta? There it is right there. And the Jakarta is acting the same way as the Singapore index, rallying off the unwind and just been running hot and heavy and straight up. The Nifty 50, basically the same thing. They survived the unwind and took it out after 3 or 4 weeks. You can see here, weekly buy for 10 weeks. So no effect whatsoever. And then we go over to where is it at? Let's take a look at the Saudi Arabian number 1 stock. Right there. And you can see that's in a weekly sell because it's an oil stock. It's the Aramco, and you can see we're looking at what is that? 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 full days in a sell, probably, it's hard to say, but more than likely 9 full days in a sell. And you can see 2 full weeks in a sell and 4 out of the last 5 weeks in a sell. So, ever since the 28.5 area, 28.25 area, it's now trading down around the 27 and what is that exactly? Let's see, right there. $72 possibly. We got two closes. That's really weird. Or 72.20. Either one, it's still down. And then the last, so far, nobody else asked for anything. We'll go take a look at the largest, what they call the, Israel is, they call that the startup nation. They got a lot of great innovation. I think the Saudi Arabia and Israel are the two largest economies in the Middle East. And you can see right there, with all the noise they got going on with Gaza and all that stuff, and Lebanon, it's still holding up. There is that low of the fourth. The unwind in Japan, it was knocked it down into like the 18.5 area, and here we are trading, got up to 21, and it's at 20.50 today. And you can see now they're only reflecting. There's the 12th, so they're reflecting there the 11th. So it's in a buy still. When we look at the index for the last 3 days, more than likely it stayed in the weekly buy. So the Tel Aviv Exchange stock index is in the weekly buy still. Where do we go from here? From here we go take a look at Europe real quick. And I want to just look at Bitcoin since it's right there in front of me. You see Bitcoin 4 days in a buy, going on a fifth day, showing a little weakness at the moment, nothing major. And you can see the weekly, it's been in a weekly sell now for 3, 6, 7, going on an 8th week. We'll see if it turns up on Monday. That'll be interesting to see what they do on Friday about, how the computer reads it at the close of today. All right, and then from there, we go take a look at the Stokes. Take a look at Europe. There is, you can see that is trying to push into the sell. At the same time, we've been in 3 days in a daily buy. Today's the third day, and but the weekly, it wasn't a weekly buy for 4 weeks, and it's flirting with it. So we'll see how they do with that. Let's look at the DAX. There's the DAX. You see the DAX is still in a weekly buy like the U.S. stock indices. And you can see yesterday they're trying to get into the buy, even with a red dot. There is Paris, the CAC 40. You can see the same situation. It wasn't a buy on Wednesday, fell into a sell yesterday. You see it's up a little bit today. That's going to be interesting. And they're flirting with the weekly sell as we speak. It's been 4 weeks in a buy. From there, we'll look at the FTSE. There's the FTSE. You can see it's not having this is yesterday's weekly number. It's pushing down hard. I don't think it may stay in that weekly sell, which is very curious in its own right. We saw how the currency this morning seemed to back off too at the same time. So, and then you can see here the what else is there to be seen? All our stock indices are in the plus. So we're not sure about any real weakness there. Also, we need to put a title in. I am going to fight all weekend long to try to get WhatsApp on there. There must be a way. I should probably use like ChatGPT or something like that. Say, hey, new phone, and why can't I sign into ChatGPT with the same phone number? So there is the title coming today. Title today is, what's today's title? Let's see. I guess I want to say fake news something, because we were talking about how the Federal Reserve has propped the whole thing up, and sometimes you see some of the stock charts that don't make sense when we know that they were where they were. So I traded it. I remember that. What can we call today's title? Fed. All eyes on the Fed, maybe, or something like that. Fed action being watched. I think that's the best way. We're watching the Fed. Fed being watched. How about if we do that? Fed being watched intensely. There we are. That'll be the title. Oh, no. Go back to that again. There we are. Bingo. Fed being watched intensely. All right, traders. Everybody have a safe and smart weekend. We will catch you all on Monday. And remember, Wednesday is the big number. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our Dukascopy friends. And Alana, thank you for saying hi. Let's see. Be safe, be smart. Have a safe and smart weekend. Ta-ta. Come on, Mr.